Okay, so we're going to go over January's numbers as far as for 2021. Still hard to believe we're in 2021. And we're going to go over 5 ways that you can be more competitive in today's market. As we go through the numbers, some folks might get a little discouraged. Others are going to feel invigorated, and others are going to go, my gosh, what's happening? So with that, my name is George Moorhead with Bentley Properties. And make sure you subscribe. This is our weekly market update. And so you get information in real time for when the time is right for you to make a move, whether it's moving up to your next home, maybe downsizing, whatever it might be. But the best part is it's free. There's no obligation. So if you have questions, hey, make sure you post it, ask questions so that, we can get back to you. We love answering your questions and the interaction and whatnot. And everybody will tell you, you know what, we don't stalk you, we don't hunt you down. Hey, if we can earn your business, fabulous. We love that. But if you just need information, hey, go ahead. We still get a lot of agents asking us questions, how do we come up with our metrics and whatnot? And we share that so that, again, as an industry as a whole, we can improve us as a collective group providing excellent service. So with that, hey, let's get going on this right now. All right, so right now, inventory is still down 45.4%. That has been a consistent trend since about April of last year. Not unexpected, and as we're going to go over in a little bit, probably not going to change. So when we talk about new on market, so like we predicted last week, January, historically, January is like slower, okay? People recovering from the holidays, Christmas, and having everybody over, and then New Year's, and everybody needs that time to just decompress, reset, take a vacation from your vacation, right? Anyway, because we were already at home, and December was still a crazy, crazy month, even better than in 2017, all things considered. And 2017 was a wild, wild market. We expect January to, well, as it has, hit the ground running. So right now we're up 8.2%. Pended are up 10.9% year over year. Now, okay, so fine. Yeah, we're only at the 9th of January, but that is still showing you the trend. And we are still seeing a massive pent-up buyer demand. We're getting some really great questions, which prompted the 5 ways to stay competitive in today's market, which is a very, gosh, we have that conversation like, I don't know, like 5, 10, 15 times a day. So this way we can get it out to more people to help them be more competitive. All right, solds are up 3.3%. And that again is showing us that our trends are happening. Now, yes, some of those are, most of those, all of those are actually from December, but it's showing you again how more aggressive December was because our numbers are already bumping ahead. So right now, we have just a shade over 2 weeks of inventory to sell. And you might say, okay, well, what does that mean? How much do we normally have? Okay, so if we have a bucket, and we call it the Northwest MLS, and all of the agents put their listings in this bucket, if we put a lid on it, the reserve amount that is in that bucket should be 4 to 6 months. That is a balanced market, okay? That's balanced. Right now, whoop, we are like way off. We have a little over 2 weeks. It's like 2.5 weeks of inventory. So if we have this bucket, I put a lid on it, we don't have 4 to 6 months. I have 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. And that is crazy insane. Our inventories levels right now on the average of the Northwest MLS, which is from Bellingham all the way down to the Tri-Cities, over in Eastern Washington in certain areas, a massive area. We only have 2 weeks of inventory, a little over 2 weeks. But anyway, still crazy, crazy. So what does that mean? That means that our year over year appreciation went up between 8 and 12%, except for in 3 counties, went up 8 to 12% depending on area. So we saw double-digit appreciation in most of the core areas. So Maria's going to post a little fun little chart so that if you're in other areas other than Pierce, King, and Snohomish County, which is where we predominantly track our numbers, you'll be able to see what the December final stats were that we were looking at. And it's very enlightening. We do work with a number of credit unions and other lending institutions handling REOs and whatnot. And so we keep all of the different folks up to date where we're at and where they're going. So Marie will post that for you guys. That way you'll have immediate access. Do not expect inventory to go up. We're not going to see this massive amount of people coming on market. I do not expect that. This number you'll expect to see a little bit of change as we roll through the year. Because remember, in 2020, this was our, the number of homes year over year that was down, okay? So if our market really started to take off in, basically April onward, because remember, July, August, September, October, November, and December all had more sales, more closed homes than there were technically homes available. So if we hadn't had the inventory coming on, it would be even worse. So this number is, you're going to see this through the process of the year, this number is going to reduce, because in April, when we talk about year over year numbers, okay, so if up to April, we had half the inventory, well, in April, where it shows that we only had half the inventory, it's going to start to show that, we're only down 10% year over year, or we're only down 5% year over year. Okay, but remember, that's because we were 50% lower the year before. So keep that in mind as we go through this, and we'll go over this again, but keep that in mind. So we do not expect to see much of a massive increase in inventory. Now, there are some folks that said, George, okay, you got all these people and they were doing their deferments, okay, because they lost their job, so they had 2 6-month windows where they weren't required to make payments. There was no negative credit reporting. Those folks that maybe they don't have a job yet, they aren't able to recover, and they're not able to meet one of the 3 guidelines as far as, bringing their loan current, whether it's a loan modification, whether it's agreeing to an additional monthly payment over a period of time to get caught up, or just a one-time, hey, I'm going to pay my arrears and get things caught up. Okay. So the MBA, the Mortgage Brokers Association, has been tracking Freddie, Fannie, and HUD numbers. And what's interesting is 2/3 of the folks that actually requested a deferment, or what we call a forbearance, actually never even did it and are current. So that big number that people had a massive concern about just dropped down to less than 1/3. And there's a lot of different options out there to help people. And if you need that help, let us know. We'll put you in the right direction to how to do that. Remember that your loan servicer is different than the investor. So expect this process to take, 60, 90 days. It's not going to happen overnight. You're not going to get answers overnight, but there are ways that you can work with them, and we can put you in that direction. So let us know. All right. Definitely expect more competition. Rates are still holding low. It's interesting. We had a great conversation with Dan Golden, chatted with Juliana not long ago. And, we had some clients that said, oh my gosh, George, did you see that in the paper? Rates. Freddie says they hit a historic low of 2.625. It's a historic low rate. But we're not seeing that today. What's going on? Are banks being greedy? No. See, like this update, you get it in real time, okay? So when you call a mortgage broker today or a lender today, you get that real-time number. They are reporting figures from a week ago, 10 days ago. It's old. And remember, interest rates change every day. It's like the stocks. They go up and down. The rate in the morning might be different from the rate in the afternoon, which could be totally different than the rate in the evening. So there you go. So keep that in mind. Just because you see a rate posted, that doesn't mean, oh my gosh, this is it today, I'm going to do it. No, that little asterisk said, rate and term subject to change without notice. There's a reason that's there, because it does. It changes all the time. Okay. When we talk about buyer affordability, because we are seeing more competitive offers and we are seeing many offers escalating, that makes buyer affordability lower. Okay, which also means you need to start looking at things a little bit different. You need to look at below your price points, and other alternatives. And we'll hit those in a second. So if you have any questions about the market and you would like our actual market report, all you need to do is request it, and we will send it to you. If you would like one specific to your area, see, it's very pretty. It's very simple. As you can see, there's not much writing here. You get some great graphs, and we make it super simple for you to understand. If you want one specific to your home area, like we have somebody who's in Surrey Downs, and they're like, hey, George, I want you to send me a report, but I need it specific to my area. They got it. Their response was, wow, this is amazing. We need to talk. Okay, so we have a scheduled appointment to go and chat with them. But look, it's free, okay? Again, if we can earn your business, great. If you want the information, there's no strings attached. Just let us know. We'll send it off to you. If you want your area specific, you do actually have to let me know where you're at so we can pull that area's information for you. All right. Let's talk a little bit about what's happened in the last 7 days. Okay, I love my little charts here. Marie always posts them up on later so you guys can get the blown up version. Basically, in the last 7 days, we're at 814 homes on market. Now, you might say, okay, give me some perspective, George. All right, so last week, we were at 350, or 315, one of the two homes. So we are more than double just in the last week, number of homes coming on market. With that, there were 1,031 pended, which is up about 10%. And the number of solds is at 1,020. Yeah, it's holding steady. So we're still seeing a lot of activity. That's just the last 7 days. Okay, so we are still seeing more homes going off market than coming on market. And that is a scary situation considering we only have 2.5 weeks soon. In my history, okay, I've been practicing over 27 years. I have never seen this, at least not consistently like this. I have never seen 6 months ever sell more homes than homes available in my 27 years of career. And I've been through the highs and I've been through the lows. And it is without a doubt an amazing, amazing market. However, there's a lot of great opportunities still out there for everybody. So if you have the fear of missing out, don't worry about it. There's always something there. You just have to be prepared. All right. Mortgage rates. Last week in the media, they had it at 2.6, 2.625. Today's par pricing is 2.875. Par pricing. Notice I say par pricing. Okay. Let me explain a little bit because I just had this conversation this morning, and that is this. Par pricing means there's no additional cost alone. You might see, or somebody might say, oh, you know what? George was saying his rates are 2.875. They're not my rates. They're Dan Golden's at Cornerstone Lending and Juliana's at Qualstar Credit Union. And I can beat that rate. Okay. Well, many times though, to get that better rate, you have to pay to get there. Meaning you pay the bank extra money to get a lower rate, which would make sense if you are actually going to stay in the home for a longer period of time. That makes sense. If you're going to be in the home for a short period of time, 3, 5, 7 years, it probably doesn't make sense. And in fact, you should actually ask for a rebate, meaning that you'll actually increase the rate a little bit because you get more money back. And both Dan and Juliana, they can tell you what that repayment schedule is. Because don't think the banks don't have that schedule, because they do. They know exactly if they give you money, they know how far out that break-even point is where they start getting that return. The inverse of that, if you pay to buy it down, they'll be able to tell you how long it's going to take you to hit net zero. Meaning if you buy this down to, let's say 2.7, that's a long ways to go. Let's go, okay, so 2.7. So let's say that's 3/4 of a point. And let's say that the cost was, say, $8,000 to buy that rate down. And at that point, does it take you 4, 5, 6, 7 years on your interest savings per monthly payment versus the amount of time that it costs that $8,000 to buy that down? Okay. And then after that, your money ahead. So it depends how long you stay in the home. So there's a few financial questions that you need to consider. All right. Non-owner occupied, 3.75%. That is still amazing. And of course, naturally, there's a lot of investors that are out there that are looking. A number of our clients and past clients are now looking for investments based on the returns and whatnot, and how inexpensive it is to borrow money. Just makes a lot of sense. Okay, and there's very simple ways. Make sure you watch our How to Be a video series, which is awesome. But let's move on. So we promised 5 ways how to be more competitive in today's market. Okay. All right. First, get fully underwritten. And there's not many lenders that'll actually do this. They'll say, oh, you don't need that. You don't need that. Okay. Yes, you do. Without a doubt, right? Because here's the thing. If you had a choice when you were looking at purchasing a home and when you're negotiating your terms, if you knew without a doubt exactly what you qualified for because you already went through the underwriting and you had any little item that they needed, and they always do, guaranteed it is the longest portion of the qualifying process to be fully underwritten. You get fully underwritten, there's no doubt. All you need is a satisfactory appraisal and a satisfactory title report. That's it. That's all you need. You're done. You are done. That's how you can close so quickly. Again, Juliana at Qualstar Credit Union, Dan Golden at Cornerstone Lending, they do this, and it is hugely beneficial. The inverse of that, you just get pre-approved. Okay. Well, you may still have things that come up in your financing. There's a reason homes will go from active to pending to active. And many times it's because of failure on financing. Well, I'll tell you something. The risk of losing your earnest money, which could be thousands and thousands of dollars, okay? The stress that gets involved with all of that. Hey, look, to take an additional step to make sure that you are fully underwritten, hey, it just makes perfect sense. That's item number 1. Going to the 11-day close. Look, if you can come in and be like a cash offer and close within 11 days, where's the downside to that? Now, that doesn't mean that you're like, oh my gosh, George, I'm renting now, and that means I'm gonna have extra time because it's past the 10th of the month, and now I got to carry another month. Okay, well, there's a few options to overcome that, and it's a business decision you need to consider while making your offer, right? Okay, pre-inspect. Pre-inspect your home. Yes, you may end up pre-inspecting a few homes. Okay. But if it's that is a perfect fit for you and the price point is perfect and it meets your growth of your family over the next 5 years or your downsizing ideas for the next 5 years, okay, look, that is a small investment to consider while you are making a purchase. Now, the other thing is you need to watch, we have 11 inspection traps to avoid. It's a 4-part video series. Watch it. I'll have Marie post the link. Watch it. It is important because it's an older video, but I take you through all of the elements of a home that you should consider. It's a great video series. Plus, you get to hear me more, which is always exciting, right? Oh, and it's free. All right. Increase your home options. Consider off-market home sellers. We have a number of off-market sellers that, they want to sell their home, but they're not on the market, so they're not available on the general public. Something to consider. You need to ask, if you're working with an agent, ask them about off-market sellers. If they do not have any, well, most agents don't. They don't have the systems designed to build it, to maintain that kind of thing. Give us a call. We'll talk. When we talk about this one, give the sellers what they want. Okay. Now, I'm going to predicate this one. This is why it's number 5. You need to make sure that you have a good plan. You have done your homework. You are fully vetted financially before you consider these as options. Okay. Now, these are recommendations to consider, and each one needs to be evaluated clearly and make sure that the agent that you are working with has a very clear understanding that you're not a dollar, a paycheck. Okay. You're not a dollar sign. They have your best interests at heart and what makes the greatest sense for you. Okay. Item number 1, take a look at a lease back. Okay. If you're able to do an 11-day close and the seller says, oh, this is a winner chicken dinner. but I can't move out that fast. Okay, well, hey, you know what? I'm going to make this easier on you. I'm going to say, hey, you know what? Let's close in 11 days, and then I'm going to give you 30 days, maximum 60, all deed of trust, maximum 60 days, but I'm going to give you 30 days so you can find that next home and you can move out correctly. Now, are there some concerns that go with that? Yes. Some people say because now the seller fits under the Tenant Landlord Act, you may have an eviction issue. Personally, fortunately, I've not heard of anybody having this issue at all. However, yes, it is a potential concern. So that is something you do need to keep in mind. All right. Talk about non-refundable earnest money. Okay. After your inspection, or maybe after your appraisal, if you're doing an 11-day close or anything else, you're able to remove that contingency. You can shorten that timeline down. Okay. You may even say, you know what? Not only am I willing to make my earnest money non-refundable, meaning I am solid. Okay. And the only way you can say that is absolute financial, being 100% solvent, being fully underwritten, is to make sure, right, as we're looking at our non-refundable, that I will also release that earnest money to you. Not only am I going to make it non-refundable, I'm going to release it to you because I know I qualify. I know this is not an issue. That gives, again, greater assurances to a seller. All right. A quick close, which is part of the 11-day close. Fewer contingencies. Again, if you're able to get all of your ducks in a row to where you do not need a certain contingency, hey, that just makes your offer cleaner, easier, and more likable. Okay, it puts you towards the top. So keep that in mind. Appraisal protection. Now, many of you are like, what? Okay, let's say that you're escalating your offer. And you, let's say you escalate an offer 10% above list price. And the seller looks at this and goes, I really like that, but well, what if the property doesn't appraise? Well, you know, there's 5 things that happen, but what if the buyer came in and said, hey, listen, Mr. Seller, not only am I financially able and capable to purchase this, but in the event that the appraisal comes in less than our agreed price, I'm willing to make up X number of dollars in the event of a low appraisal. The seller looks at that as a price guarantee insurance, right? Something to consider. Talk to your agent. If you have questions, post them. We'll answer them for you. There are a lot of different ways to accomplish this goal to make you more successful, and those are the top 5. If you have any questions, let us know. In the meantime, my name is George Moorhead. You guys have an absolutely fabulous day. And remember, 2.5 weeks of inventory. Do not expect any massive inventory increases. Buyer affordability is going down. Keep that in mind and expect more competition. Post your questions, subscribe, let us know what you think. In the meantime, enjoy your beautiful day. Take care.